Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Donald Trump has become the first former US president to face criminal charges over payments made to a porn star just before the 2016 presidential election. The Office of Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who has been pursuing the investigation, confirmed that it had contacted Mr. Trump's attorney to coordinate his surrender. The details of the case against him have not yet been released, but a grand jury has voted to indict him after investigating a £130,000 payout to Stormy Daniels in an attempt to buy her silence over an alleged affair. Mr. Trump denies wrongdoing. He is the first serving or former US president to face a criminal charge. At least 35 people have been killed after falling into a well while offering prayers at a temple in the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh. 14 others have been rescued and one person is still missing in the accident that took place in Indore city. Police said the victims were standing on a concrete slab over the well when it collapsed under their weight. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said he was extremely pained by the mishap. The incident took place during a prayer ceremony on the occasion of Hindu festival of Ram Navami. A large crowd of devotees were standing on the concrete slab covering the well which collapsed under their weight, plunging dozens of people into the almost 40-foot deep well. Hollywood actress Gwyneth Paltrow has thanked jurors who found her not liable for a 2016 ski crash at a resort in the US state of Utah.
Everything was great, and then I heard something I've never heard at a ski resort, and that was a blood-curdling scream. I can't do it. It was, and then, boom.
The retired optometrist Terry Sanderson said Ms. Paltrow crashed into him, inflicting life-changing injuries. Mr. Sanderson, who is seeking $300,000 in damages, said the verdict was very disappointing. Jurors sided with Ms. Paltrow, who blamed Mr. Sanderson for the accident and countersued him for $1 plus legal fees.
This court is now adjourned. Thank you.
Let my client slip out before?
Yes, everyone remain seated while the parties leave.
As she left, she briefly stopped to speak to Mr. Sanderson. He later said she told him, "I wish you well," and he replied, "Thank you, dear." Lawmakers from the pro-Russia far-right Freedom Party have walked out of the lower house of Austria's Parliament during a speech by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky addressed the chamber via video link on the 400th day of the war in Ukraine, thanking Austria for its humanitarian aid and help with projects such as clearing landmines. But far-right Freedom Party members walked out of the chamber, leaving small placards on their desks featuring the party logo and either Space for Neutrality or Space for Peace written on them. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez has met Chinese President Xi Jinping, where he has stressed that it will be up to Ukraine to decide on the foundations of any peace agreement with Russia. It comes after Xi, who is trying to position himself as a mediator in the war between Russia and Ukraine, wrapped up a symbolic 2-day trip to Moscow. Sánchez has described China as a top-tier global actor and thanked Xi for the invitation to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Spain and China's diplomatic relations. More than 120 wildfires are currently raging in Spain's northern Asturias region. Most of them started on purpose by arsonists as temperatures soared to record highs. The blazes came on top of another wildfire still burning 8 days after it started in woodlands in the eastern Valencia region, and yet another that has swept through 1,100 hectares of land in Galicia in the northwest. And Britain's King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla have boarded a train for Hamburg for the last leg of their 3-day state visit to Germany. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier accompanied the royals on the 2-hour fast train trip to the northern port city, where visits to World War II memorials, City Hall and Harbour were on the agenda. Charles had been due to travel first to France, but cancelled that part of the tour due to violent social unrest there. Charles has visited Germany on more than 40 occasions as Prince, including 28 previous official visits. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.